Hey everyone, it's Jason, and this is your weekend cruise news update. And the last story, if this triggers you, well, you may have some serious problems. So cruise story number one, and I have to say, it's very odd that Carnival Cruise Lines would draw the line in the sand here. So the story is a 42-year-old woman was trying to board the Carnival Horizon in Miami, Florida. Her bags were flagged because of nail clippers, which I still find odd. And they found CBD gummies. It was a sealed package, and it was 0.01 TCH, well within the legal limits. Now, these are absolutely on Carnival's prohibited list. She was detained. She was later told that she wasn't allowed to board the ship and that they were keeping her money, including the money that she spent on board that she never got to spend on board and go on any of those excursions. That has later since been refunded. And then she received a letter that she has been banned for life. So this is someone that had been on Carnival multiple times. She was getting on board early because she had early embarkation because of her status. I know people are going to say, well, she should have known better because that's the prohibited list. That's fair. It's a 42-year-old woman. She's a nurse practitioner. She's a chiropractor. She has a family. I don't know if that's where you want to draw the line in the sand, Carnival. And I appreciate that they're trying to clean up their image. I really do. But if you go to Cruise Critic and you read any of the roll calls, a lot of them afterwards, they met people and they talk about how their cruise was. A lot of them say, hey, I couldn't use my balcony because of the stench of weed. I could not use it at all week. I called 10 times. Carnival was like, I asked for a refund of some kind. So you got to figure out how to be consistent across the board, Carnival. And also for those that go, hey, the rules are the rules, I appreciate that. I really do. I'm a rule follower for the most part. But here's the problem with that. Where is it that's going to go, well, that could get you kicked off and banned for life? I mean, if you decided or accidentally brought your Swiss Army knife and they got it, would they go, up? You're banned for life, kicked off? If you accidentally brought an iron, is that an offense that would be kicked off for life? And you guys might say, oh, you're going overboard there. Am I? Because someone might say a sealed package of CBD gummies at 0.01 TCH might be a little overboard also. And I've never used this stuff. Don't know what it does. Really, I really don't. I know it's a sleep aid for many people. That's all I know. But come on. Seriously, Carnival? That's who you're going to go after? You got to do better to that. That's my opinion. It's just an odd thing. I love seeing how businesses react to things and where they end up putting their lines in the sand. All businesses do it here and there, and this is just a weird one for me. What do you guys think? Can't wait to hear from you in the comments. So before I get to cruise story number 2, I would ask that you please like this video as it does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing as I do daily cruise news shorts and tips and tricks. I also do longer cruise videos on Saturdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 2, and I have to say, if I'm ever triggered by something like this, I hope I get smacked upside the head because I would deserve it. So there was a passenger that wrote into John Heald. They were on the Carnival Horizon out of Miami. Something must be in the water. And they said that there was a visually impaired person on board. I guess they were questioning that. And they had a giant poodle dog. And they proceeded to say, I've never seen a poodle dog be a service animal before. Well, who knew that this person was the head trainer for all service animals across the globe? So on our last cruise, we actually saw a giant poodle dog. And I sat down with this person and they started talking to us. And I asked them, hey, do you mind if I ask some questions? They're like, no, feel free. And they told us the process they had to go through. And it's extensive to have your animal on board. The other thing is there are certain islands certain itineraries they can't even go on because they can't even be on the ship with the dog. They can't get off the ship. There's a lot of things that go into this process. So this isn't just, oh, okay, we think we're going to bring our dog. And that was something they were questioning. What process does Carnival take to ensure they're a true service animal? It's amazing to me that someone would question this. And it really boiled down to they saw them playing slots. They were upset by that. This person was upset. They saw them playing slots. They said, are the slots in Braille? Do people not understand there's different levels of people being visually impaired? We don't know. Who cares? None of your business. As long as the cruise line took the proper procedures in place. And what was interesting, I had to read this. It says, because hundreds of us had our suspicions it was not a real seeing eye dog. Shake my head. Seriously? Can you imagine being on a cruise? You've spent thousands of dollars. You're triggered by this. And you spoke with hundreds of people? I mean, I bet you're just a joy to cruise with. I have to tell you, I'm going to read this last quote by John Heald, and it was very funny. He's kind of cheeky sometimes. He says, dogs are allowed in the dining room. They're allowed in the casino. In fact, dogs are even allowed to play the slot machines. The dogs can play blackjack and roulette. But they have to go outside for craps, though. So I think it was a great comeback. It was absolutely hilarious. But mind your own business. I love seeing animals on ships. And I'll say this. Just like with people, if you don't want to be around people, then you probably don't need to be on a cruise. And if you don't want to see dogs, then don't go on a cruise because they're going to be there. More and more people are bringing their animals that have conditions that require that for service animals. They feel comfortable. And cruise ships do have the ability to make sure that they can use the restroom, and they set up stations for that. I do appreciate you guys watching, and thank you so much for the continued support. It means a lot to me. And until I talk to you next week, happy cruising.